Predictions are close for this year. Max Verstappen is officially announced the 2022 Formula 1 World Champion after winning the Japanese Grand Prix, which have been chaotic and rain-shortened. Red Bull is the champion for the second time in a row. By the end of the race, Lewis Hamilton got closer of his rival and had a short conversation with him. George Russell on the other side couldn't hide his frustration of his team. What was going between Hamilton and Verstappen? And why is Russell that much frustrated of Toto Wolff and his team? Keep on watching, guys. Let's find out more about this. So winning the Japanese Grand Prix was Verstappen's 12th victory in 18 races this season and his 6th in the last 7 rounds, giving him 113 points clear in the World Championship. Unlike last year's very intense battles with Hamilton, Verstappen has been in a league of his own this season. The Japanese Grand Prix final race wasn't actually easy. The weather in Suzuka was rainy and didn't make things go easy for drivers, especially Verstappen, who couldn't win the championship today without a mistake by Ferrari's Charles Leclerc at the final chicane, incurred a 5-second penalty that dropped him to a 3rd in the race classification, which means the Dutch was 130 points ahead of his Red Bull teammate Sergio Perez with 112 available. By the end of the race, Lewis Hamilton, Verstappen's first rival, went ahead and congratulated his competitor while sending him a strong warning for next season. Well, congrats to Max. Thanks for us, we know what the problems are with this car. I believe as a team, we've not gone from being world champions and being able to build a good car to not building a good car. I have no doubt we'll have a better car next year. Whether or not we've rectified every issue we have this year, we'll find out when we get there. Stated Hamilton talking to Sky Formula 1 just after the end of the race. He also posted on his Twitter account sending big encouragements for all the Mercedes fans. Didn't maximize the race pace of the car today, but we're glad we got back on track and put on a show for you all. While he seems to be accepting the defeat for this year, his teammate George Russell doesn't look like having the same feeling, especially after what happened during the race day. Russell had to wait behind Hamilton for an eternity and saw all his hard work go like nothing while he drove out of the pit lane to only rejoin the track in the 14th position. Russell blamed his team over the radio for what he called frustrating Lewis Hamilton prerogative and asked all his team's staff to review all what happened during this race. We need to review what went on. I was right behind Lewis Hamilton and double stacking. I was just going to lose all the positions. Not really much more to say. Very frustrating afternoon. Probably we could have fought for P5. It was quite enjoyable out there. I made some good overtakes, but we need to sit down with the team and see what we could have done better. That was probably at the time not the right thing to do. George Russell called the decision the worst decision ever made. Actually, Mercedes wasn't the only thing Russell criticized the day of the race. He also wasn't so satisfied of the circuit characteristics and thinks the FIA must consider improving it. Obviously, there's been so many improvements with the racing. Perhaps this one of the downside, who knows? But for sure the rivers here in Suzuka circuit need to be improved because they are the exact same as they have been for about 4 or 5 years now in the same spots. On the other side, Lewis Hamilton expressed his satisfaction of the performance he could show. I don't feel frustrated. It was a sprint race. We were just slow in a straight line. It was getting as close as I could to Ocon. I wish it was a longer race. I'm glad we got some laps for the fans here. Although it's not really a massive race for them considering how long they waited. In terms of condition, just restarting, I think it was awesome. That's what motor racing is about. I had a blast. It was so tough, so hard to see. It's really hard to see the car skating around. I think the restart was perfect timing. I just wish we could have gone a longer in a bit of dark. We lost a little bit of the light. While this statement an optimistic speech for Hamilton just after the race while his rival is crowned as the World Formula 1 champion isn't actually normal, the Brighton is probably raising hope for the 2023 Formula 1 car. However, Mike Elliott, Mercedes technical director, claimed his team have got on top of the problem and might keep their current design, having previously suggestions about stealing some concepts from other teams, even from Red Bull. Elliott is currently stressing about finding a real solution to get closer to the front within the bounds of what's possible. Elliott confirmed that Mercedes is putting all the concentration on the next year car, preparing it and testing its capacities, but he believes it would be too early to pronounce about its pace. Obviously, we're all into next year's car at the moment. I think in terms of trying to predict what sort of lap time you need to find, it's quite difficult. Elliott didn't miss the chance to sum up about his team's situation this year. I think there are races this year when we've been very close. In fact, our race performance has been pretty decent at a number of races, and there have been races where we are somewhere away. And I think what we've been trying to do is to understand that, and I think we do understand that now. We know what we need to put right. So you're then looking to say, once you put that right, how much performance do you need to find? And obviously not going to give you a number because that would be giving a lot away. Elliott admitted this year's season is a season to forget, and the car too, as described by Hamilton as the worst he has ever driven. Mercedes technical director insisted on the hard work of the remaining time, which is crucial for his team if they are looking to get back to their position. But I think it's within the bounds of what's possible to find. so I think we've got to work diligently. Work hard over the winter, but hopefully we can get ourselves back into position where we're fighting right at the front. Hamilton has previously admitted that current Mercedes was one of the worst cars he has ever driven at the Belgian Grand Prix. The 7-time world champion said he won't miss the car at the end of the season. Tell us in the comment section, what do you think about Verstappen's win for this year? Who you'll be supporting for the next year? What is your opinion about Russell's complaints the day of the final race of the Japanese Grand Prix? That was all for today's video, guys. Thanks for watching. See you next time.